So in case you wonder, it's not vodka, it's water actually. All the weirdness of my talk will be just from me, not from this. Okay, so the title of the presentation is Viral Phenomenon SUPERHOT, and generally speaking, I want to tell you about how the virality, how the SUPERHOT idea spread all over the internet and became quite popular. Let's start. In case you don't know the game, it's an FPS, experimental FPS shooter, FPS game, where time moves only when you move. So it's a game all about Matrix-style dodging bullets and killing enemies in slow motion. A game that you can play as fast as you want to play. The whole idea started as an experimental game for a 7-day FPS project. It's an event where you try to make an FPS game in 7 days. And the whole thing with FPS genre is that it isn't incredibly experimental. You don't have a lot of experimental shooters because a lot of people have big expectation when it comes to graphics in FPS games, and that drags the whole genre down. It makes it less experimental when you need all those resources to produce a game. You cannot, there is no time, and big studios are afraid of taking risk, of doing anything new. So that's how the 7-day FPS idea was born, to try to bring some experimental value to the genre. And when we participated in 7-day FPS, it was the second year. What I'm actually talking now is a bit of a filler because I want to see my slides.
Just don't look at the screen.
Okay. Speaker. In a few seconds I will show you our trailer that will, in case you don't know the game, because I'm not sure if each one of you remembers the game. SUPERHOT. You know it? No. Znasz SUPERHOTA? Do you know SUPERHOT?
Yes.
Because I want to show the trailer anyway because it brings the right mood. But it takes some time to properly launch it. I see. So for those of you that came late, the idea is I will tell about the spreading of SUPERHOT viral and how it basically exploded on the internet, and what worked for us and what can you use in your own projects. So that was the first slide when I was talking about what is SUPERHOT. Then I will show you the trailer, in case you don't know. And as always, launching a trailer on an external computer is extremely tricky. So there is just one video that is tagged. It works because I tested it before, and it works only on VLC player. SUPERHOT. No, it doesn't. So you can play it now. as the trailer said, and that's our whole idea of a game. It's a very simplified, graphically stylish shooter. Huh? And so we made the game, the original version for the 7-day FPS challenge, and it was by all means a crazy endeavor, because basically I and one programmer had actually any experience in making games, and the rest of the team was experienced programmers, yes, but mostly without game dev experience. They never made a game before, except for maybe small gen games, for instance, most of the graphics was done by two high school guys who just wanted so bad to join the team that I told them to learn some 3D modeling, and well, they learned, and most of the graphics in the prototype is made by those two guys. Okay, our sound engineer was a race car driver. It's a fun thing to talk about, because it's like an underdog story. It's like a Hollywood movie with a baseball team of misfits that goes to the championships, and generally it works. But one important thing is that the 7-day FPS version, while telling about it, is a great story. Race car drivers, high school guys, a huge team with no experience, and those just random making fun games. The version that we released for the after the 7-day FPS, it was rubbish. It was a bad game by all means. We didn't have time to implement proper level changes, so we decided to place the different levels as different different web pages, basically. So after completing a level, you had to click outside the window and click the button that said the next episode. Well. And while the episode lasted, the first level lasted like 15 seconds. A lot of people thought it was all, and then clicked away. So the 7-day FPS version wasn't a best game ever, but it certainly gained some attention. And many smaller game sites. They like to talk about, they like to write about all the small indie stuff that comes out of jams, game jams, like 7-day FPS, because that's the area that's not covered by the bigger portals. So it's a place that your game can shine, and every smaller portal game site wants to discover the next Minecraft when it comes. So they just monitor the web and seek all those tiny games that have some promise. And after the 7-day FPS version, after the 7-day FPS, the big winner of the 7-day FPS was a game called probably Archery, and it was a hit on Reddit. That's basically a game where you try to shoot an arrow, but you control the hands very indirectly. So hilarity ensues, and that's the GIF that made the front page of Reddit, and people all over the internet were excited about this game, because that's the thing that's easy to show off. It's fun to do. It's the game that produces great GIFs, basically. Great animations and GIFs, I will tell you about later, are great means of selling your game, communicating your game to the audience. After the 7-day FPS, the 7-day FPS version was rubbish, but then we decided to work in smaller team, just basically three of us, and we were polishing the stuff. We got rid of the strange click button for next episode level switching, and we polished the game, and the version that works as an original SUPERHOT 7-day FPS game is actually a game made in the next 2 weeks. So it's 3 weeks of development for the version that work on the internet, and the reason for us working on the game more was well, the early version generated some excitement on the smaller and also bigger sites, like Rock Paper Shotgun wrote about SUPERHOT early about after the first 70 FPS version. It was great for us. It was just so much fun seeing that. And the reason to work more was to show our game on WGK, WGK. It's a Polish game development conference, and it's something like this indie showcase here on Digital Dragons, where just people bring their games and try to hypnotize people with them, with those games. And I just love it, because showing off your game in front of audience is a great experience, because normally when you work on a game, well, you release it on the internet, but you don't see lots of people walking by and getting excited about your game, and you don't see how the people react when they see the game for the first time, and it was a great stuff. So after the version we released on the conference, internet went a little crazy and people were excited. And the main part of this talk is I will tell you how it worked. In the past 8 months, we got about 6 million views. So it's not 6 million plays on the game. On our site, and it's not like it's so big compared to YouTube videos, for instance. YouTube videos on bigger channels get this thing like weekly. It's not that scale of the traffic, but it still generates a lot of excitement. On the wave of this excitement, we submitted the game for the Steam Greenlight, and we got the greenlit very fast. And now we are working on an expanded version. So, the first thing that was important for development, for the virality of SUPERHOT, was this very simple, and you wouldn't suppose it means so much, but newsletters is a great thing. You could think that today you should make a Facebook page, you should make a Twitter account. Okay, but newsletters is still a thing that works, because it requires some dose of trust from the player, and it requires some dose of engagement to type your email address and get ready for the spam eventual, because that's always this risk. So when someone subscribes to a newsletter, it's a sign that he's really interested, and he will be potentially a player of the next version. So when we released the first 7-day FPS game, the rubbish version, let's call it, it was this widget that dropped players that enabled us to stay in touch with the players. Simple stuff, and it's not that we wrote it ourselves. It's just a plugin called LaunchRock, I guess, and works. So this simple tool is a thing that works. When the game started to be popular, after the conference, we pushed the newsletter, and then that was a surprise for us, because flash portals, flash portals are like porn sites for the game industry. It's just a lot of ads, a lot of flashing, just a way to show ads to little kids. Basically, it's a brutal business. But I worked as a Flash game developer. I made some Flash games, and I just love this market because the amount of experimental gameplay stuff that was in the Flash games portals like 3-4 years ago, it was astounding. It's still a great market for those little experimental games. Though of course now it's more mobile. So Flash portals generally operate on a piracy, like domesticated piracy. It's all the tiny sites just take the games from one from another and places on their front page to gather views. With SUPERHOT, many of the sites just linked to our, many of the sites just didn't upload the game to their servers. They were just using our bandwidth with a frame of our game, of our site on their site, and that's why we saw them on the stats that we are getting traffic from there. One thing, we always try to talk to the portals, and never of course we thought that you should take the game down. It was always please place our links to our original page. Please place our Twitter account, our Facebook page, so the guys that loved the game on the Splash portal can also become our fans and get excited about the game and monitor the future of the game and development of the game through our channels, not the Flash sites. Reddit is a huge thing, and it's not like I need to tell you about it. It's basically a glorified version of an internet forum. It's internet forum done right. Internet forum that actually engages people and has a huge traffic. And on the specialized subreddits, or subforums of the Reddit, people are totally excited about the games and can generate huge amounts of traffic. During Greenlight weekend, because we greenlit the game on Friday, we started the Greenlight campaign on Friday, and then on Monday we were already greenlit. It was crazy. During this Greenlight weekend, Reddit generated most of our traffic. Those people excited about the games, a lot of them are on Reddit, so it's not a thing that you can underestimate or just forget. And on this screen you see that there is some problem with title SUPERHOT. And generally, it's the reason why we are using SUPERHOT merged together as a one word is to have a better chance of googling our game because it just doesn't work otherwise. But still googling for SUPERHOT or searching Twitter for SUPERHOT hashtag is a landmine, land of landmines. It's crazy. With Reddit, we made front page twice, and a small culture of our fans really has created there. Like in all the comments on our games, there's always someone that tells super and expects the next responder to tell hot, and then you create like those chains, super hot, just like in the game. And it's it's a small stuff, but we like to think about it as a thing that was planned, like it was planned. No, it wasn't. But it was something that worked in our offices when we were working on SUPERHOT. Whenever one of us said super, the other responded hot, and it worked like this. So we were very excited that what worked in our group when we were making the game actually also works with other people. It resonates with people. So it helps the game to have a catchphrase, I guess, and that was the feature that really resonated with people. This was the gift that made front page on Reddit. The first thing that made front page on Reddit was our Greenlight trailer, the thing you saw, and the second one was a fan-made GIF. And GIFs are generally a great way of presenting the game because it's like format of the future, and in the future you don't need extreme compression of a video. You just have GIFs that have crappy compression and really loose colors. But the thing that works with GIFs is that when you are browsing a site like Tumblr or you are browsing Reddit, you automatically see the animated GIF, animated movie inside the page. So it just is. This is what helps to communicate your game to the players. This is what helps reaching the players. So these are the fan-made GIFs that just people made. It's not like we made it. Those were fan-made GIFs that people passed around because they thought that the game was cool. Another source of great traffic. Great traffic, but not like the Reddit is a huge traffic, and it's a great traffic because it comes from people that are really interested in the game. But Twitter is strange because when it comes to Twitter, it's not like we had a lot of traffic coming from the Twitter. It was not a big traffic, but it was an influential traffic because when you are communicating with people on Twitter, you can reach and just see a lot of basically famous people excited. So it always helps the game when someone some kind of celebrity, I guess, or someone who has like 100,000 followers on Twitter tweets about your game, and it helps spreading the game. Just standard human interactions on Twitter help promote the game. And we had this lack, I guess, of many people getting excited about SUPERHOT, and we always try to respond properly because Twitter is great for those little interactions that help humanizing your game, that help you seem like a human. So whenever some influential person tweeted about SUPERHOT, like in this case Notch retweeted our interview on indiegames.com, we made a mashup of SUPERHOT in Minecraft style. It was a fun thing to do, and it's a thing that responded very well with people. When Cliff Leshinsky, it's a great honor to me that he liked our game, tweeted our game, we of course responded with some bad puns. Twitter is also great for our most retweeted thing was a SUPERHOT text adventure game that we made for April Fools, and you know it's not a lot of work to do something crazy for your fans, for people excited about the game, something a bit offbeat that helps them remembering it. And in this case, it was a text adventure game where you are instead of first-person shooter, it was a text game. So you move typing left, right, up, and down, and shoot eventually. But every time you type, the bullets come closer. So you have to time the amount of letters you use for each word. It was fun, and it really resonated well with people. It was our most retweeted material. And coming again, when we hit the 1 million views on the Greenlight video, we made just a small GIF of enemies from our game dancing Gangnam Style, and it's fun because it's all from the free animations of that were available to us. We had walking, running, shooting, and Gangnam Style, basically. So that's the free animations we were working with. So when dealing with fans, especially on Twitter, it's always good to over-deliver. You know, give them more than they expect. Like with the Gangnam video, like with the SUPERHOT ringtones, because actually one person said that he would love to have SUPERHOT ringtones on the phone, and that was the reason to just basically make those ringtones for this one person in 6 hours. And it's not like it always works, because you know it's not like it's very retweeted material. So it didn't resonate so much with people, but still it's just a fun service. like the fan. Facebook. Facebook, on the other hand, was a much greater source of traffic for us than Twitter, but it wasn't influential traffic at all. We didn't have any means of checking how well it resonated with people, because the tweets from Cliff Bleszyński, the tweets of Peter Molyneux were then cited in the press. It went viral. It was retweeted. It worked. With the Facebook posts, we didn't manage to do anything like this. Facebook is a tricky platform because in Twitter tweets are very short, of course, and you can always be sure that everybody interested, everybody following your account will be exposed to this tweet. When it comes to Facebook, people have liked so many pages that that Facebook has stopped showing all the content to all the people, and it's not so good for promoting your game, and it didn't work for us. We didn't have many meaningful interactions like on Twitter when it comes to Facebook, but still the page the Facebook page is bigger than our Twitter account, but still I think it's less influential. So that's how it worked for us. I don't know how it will work for you. You should, when promoting your game, very important stuff for us was the NeoGAF forum. I guess you pronounce it NeoGAF, and it's a very insider. It's a bit of an insider forum where many of the YouTubers hang out, and they don't like game marketing. Yes, so you have to be careful there. But we had this lack of some people. Some people really liking our game on the forum, and they created a thread on this forum for us, because on the NeoGAF you don't create a thread for your game. It is created for you, just to prevent some aggressive marketing. And the contacts made with NeoGAF forums were very important for us, because all the GIFs that you've seen before, those were GIFs made by our fans, but those fans came from a NeoGAF forum. Those were people that wanted to make, that generally made GIF from games, just their hobby, and liked our game and wanted to record some GIFs from our game. And when they asked, when they just told us about it, we just sent them the standalone build, because that's the better way of recording material. So we always try to come to those guys that are excited with our game and give them what they need. So they needed a standalone build for better recording. They needed a standalone build to record YouTube videos. So we provided them very quickly. Because YouTube basically is the new demo. The Let's Play is the new demo. When you want to learn about the game, if you want to buy it, currently there are less demos released, and when you want to know about the game, you just go to YouTube, you type Let's Play, and or you follow your favorite YouTuber, and you see what cool game has come out, and you see this game in action. You see the very excited guy playing your game, and that's the biggest gain for a game can get. So great contacts with YouTubers it's important. Yes. You cannot overestimate. So we had huge traffic from YouTube, and that's mainly because our Greenlight video was quite popular, and that's why. And many sites talking about our game were linking to this YouTube video, and then people that wanted to play the game clicked clicked away from the YouTube video. So the traffic that that was marked as a traffic from YouTube is actually traffic that comes from all over the internet that linked to this trailer. I don't know if it's proper English actually, but YouTubers are best ambassadors of your game. They just help you to sell them because that's their business and their way of life. Talking about the games and getting people excited about things, and that works. That works. So we got huge traffic hits from huge traffic spikes from Markiplier, a YouTuber currently in the Maker network. He became huge since SuperHot, but of course it's not because of SuperHot, because this guy is absolutely great. Because when he starts chanting SuperHot to all those fans excited about, to all those fans of Markiplier, to all his subscribers on YouTube, it's an instant seller. This guy is so excited about the game that you want to play it already. And a lot of YouTubers, those are basically entertainers that work with their charisma. And if they like your game, that means a lot. Twitch is a thing that worked for us, but it didn't generate much traffic. SuperHot is basically a single-player game, and it's a game that you play once, so it doesn't have this great twitching material like roguelike games, like FTL, like DayZ. But the power of this platform was demonstrated to us when one of the I don't remember his name, sadly. It was a moment. One Twitcher talking about playing. One Twitcher playing DayZ started talking about our game in the background. He just plays the link. He still played DayZ and was talking about our game. And in this moment, when he was talking about this game, we had 3,000 players at once at the site. It's crazy. So Twitch is great, and Twitch will grow, and we should expect more crazy stuff like the Twitch plays Pokemon. It's a crazy platform, and you could think it's like YouTube, but it's worse because it's you have to be there when someone is streaming, but it's au contraire. It's a thing that you cannot miss because it's happening right now, and that's a great thing about Twitch. But our game is not very Twitchable. But you can think about this when promoting your games. There were many strange situations because when the game is popular on the internet, it also goes to the crazy sites that that are a bit scary. So on 4chan there was a lot of when I've seen the traffic from 4chan. I instantly went there and looked for the post, and of course the discussion was just amazing. It was basically accusing us of promoting our game, that is everywhere. Why are you talking about this? Another indie game, shitty indie game marketing. But it was this 4chan attitude, but at the same time it was a great deal of enthusiasm there, and I loved it. I loved browsing the whole topic, and of course they went off topic very soon, like they started counting. So 4chan is it wasn't a great source of traffic, but it's also and you have traffic for 4chan, but it's not like a place that's very friendly to promoting your game. When working with these huge amounts of traffic, that we were also surprised by it, because who would suppose that your game would have more than 15 players at once on the site? Like that was the numbers we were thinking about, and we had this small network service that we used for hosting our game. but quickly it became apparent that it's not enough, and the server started crashing. So it's important to have. I don't tell you to use the CDN service already, but you should know how to operate it in case it happens. We use Cloudflare for CDNs, content distribution networks, and basically it's a shield that it's a cloud service that provides you that serves your site all over the internet to all those people that want to play it. And so you could handle 3,000 people on the site at once, or even more. And it's like a technical stuff, and you would think that it's not important, but it is very important. It is very important to be prepared, because if the site would crash when it was on the top of Reddit, well, most of people wouldn't play the game, wouldn't know the game. When the site would crash responding to the traffic from the YouTubers, well, no one would play it. They would be excited, but well, it doesn't work. Meh. I'm going to see something different. So, basing on this huge amounts of traffic from all those different sources, we got greenlit very fast, and people liked our game. It was fun, and we are approved for greenlight, and now we are working on developing the bigger, better version of SUPERHOT with explosions. The slides were messed up, and when you get coverage on the social media, you also get coverage on the more traditional press, like CD Action, the magazine. It's a paper magazine, and all the portals. And getting featured on Wired, on Verge, on Kotaku. Wow, this sounds great, and it's actually prestigious, and it's great because this traditional media still has a lot of prestige attached to it. But when it comes to the traffic itself, it's not like it's so big of a traffic. The most of the traffic for SUPERHOT was generated from the social media and from the YouTubers and from Reddit. And the press provided great quotes to talk about. It's a great material because they are actually writers. That's the job, and they know how to write and to make it sound exciting. They help selling your game with their words. But while it provides prestige, it's not and great quotes for instance for the Greenlight trailer. Yes, many quotes were from traditional press or gaming sites. It's not like it's huge traffic. The most of traffic comes from social media. When it comes to those sites, those little tiny game portals, we always try to respond to the tiniest interview request, because that's the continuing of our idea of always over delivering, always giving something more than people expect, just like with the ringtones, and it didn't work so well, but it was much fun in responding to those interviews. It's not like it's great traffic or it's great press, but we experimented with it and just try to be everywhere, just respond to everything. And so the next logical step is us going to Kickstarter, basically, because with all those people excited about our game, we want to deliver it working with the fans, because there are people that wait for the game, and with Kickstarter they can have some impact on the game, because SUPERHOT, as it was in the prototype, can go in many different directions, and working closely with the fans is some way of ensuring that it will be the right direction for them and for us. So, with all the talking about the GIFs selling the game, we have some GIFs from the current version, And when I'm looking at it, it still is, it's already old. Because we are so iterating so fast, we are changing all the unnecessary detail. We are working with the enemy look, and we are trying to make it awesome. So that's the preview of the upcoming SUPERHOT, and stay tuned for the Kickstarter because we're coming soon. So if you have any questions or just want to talk about anything, I'm here, and I'm so excited to see you all because it's like only form of vacation I get nowadays. So let's have fun together and talk about games because it's great. So thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any questions, still it's valid.
Your game was almost fully done, I think. So what you plan to make in full version of game?
It was done in the form that it was before, but it was a simplified form, and I think that all the players that liked the original SUPERHOT would like to play more of the same. Yes, it's but from the developer perspective, it's not like we can possibly deliver more of the same without expanding the whole design. It's not like you can really build a lot of levels around just using one weapon or the simplistic AI that was before in the game. Still we are going to have a very simplified graphical style, just to deliver all those exciting things that we know that would be cool in SUPERHOT and would work with the SUPERHOT mechanics, because it's fun stuff. Because when designing the game, there's a lot of possibilities that arise from this initial concept. You just change the one thing in the FPS genre, and then then all the traditional features of the game just become something that is exciting to see again, because every game has a shotgun. But avoiding shotgun bullets and shotgun pellets and avoiding bullets, it's a bit different. It provides this different dynamic. The explosions, every game has every FPS shooter has a grenade, yes, but when you have control over time, this explosion that basically cuts away your movement possibilities. Speaking more formally, like in formal game design, just explosion that cuts off the possibilities of you moving is just something that wasn't there before in SUPERHOT, and it has to be done.
So new weapons?
No.
Guns, bazookas?
No, bazooka has to be there. Has to be there, but we always try to stay small with it, because it's we had this moment in development where we were going for a bit more higher fidelity graphics, still stylized, but with more textures, with more geometry, and it just didn't work because this workflow didn't enable us to make those crazy exciting scenes, because like the benchmark for graphics of SUPERHOT for me is a graphic that enables player imagination to work. Because what worked in the original was the player imagination. You had those stylized figures of men, and that there are your enemies, and you didn't need much more. You knew that there were enemies. You knew that there was a space you are walking around, and this space was a bit abstract, but it still gave you those tiny details that revealed it, that made it a real space that you form in your imagination. and that's generally a direction that wasn't ever, I think, taken in the FPS games, because when we are talking about FPS games, we are mostly talking about this, this realistic graphic, and the stylized approach that works with your imagination more than the things that are there on the screen is something that wasn't explored. So my benchmark for graphics of SUPERHOT is a graphic that enables you to have to give player a fantasy of shooting in the highway traffic with cars moving only when you move, and this fantasy is something awesome. I want to deliver this fantasy. I want to deliver those small fantasies of you being in the place, in these crazy action scenes that are seen from a different angle when the time mechanics is introduced. Thank you for the question. Anyone else?
Maybe last word, just with story. It sounds like it was a boss that sent SUPERHOT, you're jumping out the window and what you're getting up.
Well, the story was we are working on the story, and the story approach in the original SUPERHOT still stays the same now, but we are going to redo all the things. What worked really in the prototype was the big text flashing on the screen, and with just few words you could build the scene like you were instant, with simplified space and just a few words saying the deal is off, and you see a man behind the man in front of you that pointing a gun, and you know that the deal is off. You know that you're in the middle of the story, and you have to figure out in your head what happened. And this story approach of not telling everything, just working with player imagination is something we are going to stick with. The full motion video on the end of the game, well, it was crazy fun thing to do, but and I think we will do some full motion video stuff thrown at the player, just like those iconic text thrown on the player. We want to stick with that, but probably it won't be me talking to the player again, because many players were freaked with it. But many players were freaked. But it's a great way to make games it's great to overdo something. It's great to go beyond what's decent, what's normal in a game, because that's how you can make some awesome stuff. And this full motion video, in the way it was in the game, well, it didn't work, but but we tried, and we are going to try all those crazy approaches in the big game, in the remaining game. Yes. Yes. So thank you very much. We are seeing here on the conference, and have a great time here.